Tyme Bank believes in a banking future with more for every entrepreneur. Start paying less and getting more. With Tyme Bank, you've got this.
Welcome to Small Business E-volution. I am Nontobeko Gumede. Now, on today's episode, we are looking at the processes involved when starting your own business, especially within the e-commerce space. We are joined by Mmasetena Nyatlo, who is the product head of SME Banking at Tyme Bank, who will unpack the important factors you need to consider before you start trading and the type of business ownership to use. Mmasetena, thank you very much for joining us. Now, the two most common types of business ownership are sole proprietorship and private companies, in which each one does have its own tax and legal considerations. But can you please share in detail what a sole proprietorship is all about, and how does it differ from all the other business types?
Yeah, 100%, and thank you for inviting me. I think one of the biggest anatomies and differentiators of a sole proprietorship is the fact that it's not a legal entity. So you don't have to go through the hoops and jump through documentation to register with the CIPC. You are trading as an individual, so that's a big thing. You're literally your own boss, and you run the entire operations. You take on all of the risks as well as all of the benefits. And from the data that we're seeing, typically these types of businesses will include people like freelancers, your influencers fall into this space, literally anybody that has a side hustle that allows them to earn additional income or run a small business on the side all by themselves.
Can you please just share just some of the tax and legal implications that people would need to be aware of when embarking in this? I mean, you mentioned that there's not too many legal ties or any red tapes around it, but is there something that people are not necessarily focusing on when it comes to these sole proprietorships?
Oh, 100%. And I think tax is a big one. We always laugh and say there are two guarantees in life, right? Death and taxes. We can't run away from them. And I think when it comes to sole props, that is 100% applicable in this case. There are three things that really sole proprietors have to look out for. The first one would be, you have to ask yourself, do I have employees in the business? And if the answer is yes, you have to make provision for pay as you earn for your employees. The second one you have to ask yourself is, do I qualify for registration as a vet vendor, in which case you have to register and submit tax returns for value-added tax. And this applies if you have a income or make revenue of 1 million rand per annum. And you have to submit those tax returns. And then obviously don't forget about yourself, because you also work in the business. You have to make provision for yourself as an owner for pay as you earn as well. And then you ask the question around what are the other things that they have to look out for when it comes to any sort of legal or liabilities. I think risk is one of the big ones, particularly because when you are a sole prop, you function as an individual. And so what happens is there's what we call unlimited personal liability in this space, which means your personal assets can in some instance be attached by creditors if you are unable to pay. So it's a big one that I think a lot of sole proprietors forget when they come into the space.
How different, Mmasetena, would it be for someone who's looking to start a business solely in the e-commerce space, who's looking to join online marketplaces with spaces like Takealot, for example?
Yeah, so it wouldn't necessarily be vastly different. You still don't need to register. However, obviously Takealot will ask you for certain documentation. They'll ask you to follow the process for registration. But it's still pretty much the same thing, where you need to take into consideration your personal liability. You need to make sure that you're making provision for yourself from a tax perspective, but follow the processes that Takealot will lay down for you. So it's relatively easy to actually switch on e-commerce, any types of digital platforms that you want to sort of participate in.
And then from a banking point of view, Mmasetena, what would be the best business accounts for entrepreneurs who are registered as sole props, especially within Tyme Bank as well? What are the best features in there?
Yeah, 100%. I think we've got largely about 3 accounts or product solutions that we think fit really well for sole proprietors. The first one is our business transactional everyday account. One of the big things that we know in Nontobeko is the fact that the access to funding for sole proprietors is a big thing. And so having a business transactional account allows you to have a record of your income and expenses, and it allows you to be able to apply for funding when you need it. So very important for sole proprietors to have that. And our everyday business transactional account allows customers you don't pay fees, so it saves costs. You don't have to produce any form of documentation, so very minimal administration. And the third thing is under 5 minutes in terms of account opening, so saving you time. I think that is a win for sole proprietors. The second account we have is the Goal Save. And we spoke earlier about tax and the fact that you have to make provisioning. I think this is where the Goal Save plays such a critical role, is in that you can put aside money where you have a tax shortfall. You're able to supplement with the Goal Save that you would have put money into, and you earn interest of up to 11% on there, and access is very easy from that perspective. The last one that we have is the time pause. We understand that customer behavior has shifted over the past couple of years, and so it's no longer just about cash. Customers are demanding that business owners have acceptance method for card. So time pause allows you to do that, and you can accept payments, card payments, anytime, anywhere, 24/7. Those are really the 3 ways that as Tyme Bank we're saying to our sole proprietors, we've got you.
Mmasetena, thank you very much for breaking that down for us in such simple terms. I just wanted to find out, just for someone who is looking to start their own side hustle even, let's just say you didn't really have much capital. Yes, you registered as a sole prop, but now you are bringing in the money, you're bringing in the chain. So is there a certain turnover that you would need to reach in order for you to move from a sole prop into something different and register your business something different, or?
It's up to you if you want to move from being a sole prop to a business, a full business with legal registrations and the sort. But I think, it's up to you as an individual to say, do I want to get more partners? Do I want shareholding? And all of those other nitty-gritties of the business that will help you decide which direction you want to take your business.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Mmasetena. That was the Tyme Bank's product head of SME Banking, Mmasetena Nyatlo, with insights of the benefits of being a sole proprietor. Stay tuned for more on Business Day TV.
Tyme Bank believes in a banking future with more for every entrepreneur. Start paying less and getting more. With Tyme Bank, you've got this.